Good afternoon and happy Wednesday. I am super excited to go live with you today. I am feeling good about all of the positive feedback after completing day one. And so, as people are joining in, as people are tuning in, please give a shout out, introduce yourself, and just say how you're feeling today. Okay, that's good to know. And so, for those who do not know me, I'll do a quick introduction of myself. My name is Sandra Goltry, and I am a registered dietitian, licensed nutritionist, and I work with men and women. And I would love to welcome you to day two of Crush Your Sugar Cravings, a 3-day clean eating, no added sugar challenge. So we are kicking off 2023 strong, okay? We're trying to reset. We are trying to get back on track. We are trying to move forward. And so, first and foremost, I want to express to everyone that you are more than capable at being successful at conquering your biggest challenges, fears, especially in regards to weight loss, your health, and eating habits. Okay. I know many times we get frustrated. People get frustrated because they try things, they do things, they invest in different programs and diets and not able to sustain the weight. They may lose the weight. A lot of times people will lose the weight, but they're not able to sustain the weight for various reasons. Maybe it's too restrictive, maybe it's too time consuming, maybe it's too boring, maybe it's expensive, but it gets frustrating going through that cycle over and over and over again. And so one of the things that I would like to kick things off is this perfect case in point with a client study. The link is there. I would love for you to follow along as well until you can see who I'm talking about as I am speaking with her. But her name is Clementine, and she also was struggling with stress eating, as well as sugar cravings. Okay. And she had a very stressful job, and food was her way of coping. Okay. Food was her way of coping. And so I will put this banner. The banner is actionchoices.com and / Clem, CLEM, success stories. Okay. Success story. I'm sorry. So actionchoices.com / Clem, CLEM, success story. Okay. And you will see that her title is how she used food or sweets as comfort to pass the time away, and how she was able to lose 22 pounds in 4 months. And so she wanted comfort food like chocolate was one of her favorites. And after a long day at work or a long work week, after the overeating, she would feel guilty. She tried to exercise the bad habit away, or she would try to exercise the damage that may have been done. And so she knew that she needed help when she saw the number on the scale get to a place that was very foreign to her. Okay. And her primary doctor had added obesity as a concern on her medical chart. And that was her wake up call, because that's the first time that that had ever happened. She had never seen her weight get that high. And so that became another level of stress for her. And so together we worked to refocus how the role of food played in her life. And we tweaked some of her eating patterns to make her meals more satisfying and filling, and hence reducing the onset of those uncontrollable cravings. Okay. And if I have any Orange Theory members here, this was right before the transformation challenge was starting, and so she really wanted to maximize her results from that as well. And so 4 months into, she went from 185 to 163, and so she lost 22 pounds in those 4 months. And she no longer, so here's the bigger gains, she no longer looked at food for comfort to pass the time away, and cravings no longer existed because she understood that foods had no limits. There were no foods that were off limits. So that avoidance list we kind of took off the table to take that pressure off and to not allow that food to have as much power as it was having. And so those same results, and during those 4 months, I might add, she was not living in a bubble. She traveled, she ate out, and she was dealing with the social distancing at this time. She was dealing with the social distancing that was going on with the pandemic. Okay. So this was kind of the more of the earlier onset of the pandemic, when things were really, really, really stressful for people. And so these same results are more than possible for each one of you. Okay. Always know that. The fact that you're part of this challenge speaks volumes to that. So simply just have the desire, okay, and has the discipline and have the commitment in order to make it happen. And it will happen in the way that it's supposed to happen for you and in the timing that it is supposed to happen for you. And in about a month and a half after taking the photos that you see on the screen there, she went down another 5 pounds. And so each of you are more than capable again of achieving the same success, and you're in the right place for making that happen. Okay, so just a little bit of words of encouragement and motivation to let you know that, hey, you are not alone, and there are real people out there like to show you real people with real results. And so here's a breakdown for today. So we're going to recap yesterday's topic, and I'm also going to address any questions. So post any questions, any comments that you have, post them throughout this live, okay? So they can get addressed, other people can see them. I'm a firm believer that if one person has a question, somebody else does too. So don't fear asking questions, okay? Every question is valid, every question is pertinent. So don't feel like you should know something, okay? That's why we're here. And any kind of feedback you want to share from day one, definitely share. And so next we'll go into the topic for today, which is we're talking about why skipping meals can backfire for you and can cause your cravings to increase, okay? And what to do instead about that, what to do to prevent that from happening. And then many of you have asked me, well, what is next? What happens after the challenge? And so we're going to talk more about that. And then we'll shift back to the guidebook and we'll shift back to the challenge itself, and we'll talk about the upcoming meals and snacks and up to breakfast tomorrow. Okay, so we want to at least kind of touch base on that. So any questions come up, look in your guidebook. If you had any questions on the recipes or anything like that, this is the time to ask. You can get your questions addressed in real time. All right, so first is first. So we're going to talk about yesterday's topic, a quick little recap. So yesterday we talked about coffee. We talk about how your morning mojo impacts or affects your sugar cravings and easy and satisfying swaps. What are some easy and satisfying swaps for your coffee? Still have your coffee. I'm not going to say you cannot have your coffee, but we want to have your coffee with breakfast, okay? Understand that coffee is not the cornerstone of your breakfast or boosting your energy levels, because that's really the real reason why most people are drinking it, because they feel that it boosts their energy levels. And so I went over a study that I found very, very interesting and I love to share. And it revealed that caffeine actually reduces sweet taste perception, and hence is why we either crave something sweet with our coffee or in our coffee, okay? Like creamers, okay? Creamers is sugar. That's why we like it. And also during this blind study, participants were drinking caffeinated or decaffeinated coffee, and they claimed that it increased their level of alertness. Okay, remember, blind study means that they don't know, okay, which one they're drinking. They don't know if it's caffeinated, they don't know if it's decaf, but both groups reported that they had an increase in alertness. Okay, so think about that. Decaf, alertness, usually that's not directly related. And so hence there's a placebo effect or conditioning effect to the simple fact that you're drinking coffee. So, and meaning that just the fact that you're drinking it, you automatically think you have more energy, you automatically think that you're more alert, rather the coffee really doing something to your brain, chemicals and things like that to make that happen. So in a nutshell, enjoy your mojo for the taste and depend on clean eating, adequate sleep, effective exercise for sustainable energy throughout the day. All right. So I highly recommend checking out the replay. I went into much more detail. It's a very good conversation and good information to have in your tool belt. And so now let's look at talk about some feedback from day one. So again, I had stated earlier, if you chimed on a little late, post any questions that you have in the chat about the meals, the snacks, prepping, cooking, anything that you need assistance with. That's what we're here for. Okay. If you're finding something cumbersome, if you're finding something, we don't want this to become this challenge as a stressor for you. So let me know, let all of us know where you need help. Okay. And then also, if you have any, post any questions related to the meals, the coffee, the topic that we talked about yesterday, if you were able to listen in live or listen to the replay, post anything. Okay, this is the time to do that. And I will point out a question that tends to come up is about the salmon that you're going to prepare, and if there's any substitutes for salmon. Okay, so there's two parts to this, okay? So if you like fish, but you just don't want salmon, then you can choose another fish of your choice, but cook it separately than as you would the salmon. Is a salmon allows for a higher cooking point, and so you don't want that with another type of fish because it may dry out. So cook the other. So if you choose another fish other than salmon, just cook it separately, and then you can just combine everything together once it's cooked. If you don't like fish in general, then you can use chicken. That's another good substitution. Again, cook it separately the way that to your desired taste, and then you can combine the two after the fact, okay? And one thing I wanted to applaud that a lot of times, many times people will struggle with getting their veggies in, okay? So know that already you have been eating more plant-based from a not just a veggie perspective, but also starches and whole grains and fruits and things like that. So kudos for actually eating more plant-based and having that more of a cornerstone of your eating pattern, because that is very, very important to get all those good vitamins and minerals, right? If you didn't think you can do it, you're doing it. Okay. And so, for those who are tuning in for the first time today, I would love for you to stay tuned to the very end. We're going to talk about more about what happens after this challenge. And so, you're going to want to stay to the end because you're going to want to hear about some special opportunities that I have for those who want to take a deeper dive beyond this challenge. This challenge is a springboard. Okay. So, if you want to go a little bit deeper to create a personalized plan to promote sustainable weight loss for you and to get healthier for 2023, and and plan that what you're going to do moving forward from this challenge, then definitely check it out. I am going to share some amazing time sensitive bonuses, so be sure to stay to the end. And then I would like for you can check out a sneak peek. If you're not able to stay to the end and hear it live, you can go to actionchoices.com/body reboot blueprint. Okay. And that's actionchoices.com/body reboot blueprint. Okay. And so that's another way that you can actually get a little sneak peek while we're on the live. And so let's jump into today's topic, and then we'll shift back to the challenge to wrap up for the meals and the snacks that are coming up through tomorrow. And so, why skipping meals can backfire by increasing your sugar cravings and what to do instead. All right. So, some common causes for sugar cravings. Okay. What are some common causes? Many of us experience it, is so common. And so the most common cause for sugar cravings is the body is in need of more fuel, okay? In need of more fuel. And so when you eat foods containing carbohydrates, the digestive system breaks down the digestible ones into sugar, which enters the bloodstream, and then it is transported into your cells where it is used for energy. Okay, this is how we get our ability to do things. Okay, and so when we go too long without eating, our cells become starved for fuel, and our brain sends signals that, hey, we need to consume more carbohydrates. Unfortunately, when we should reach for something naturally sweeter like veggies or some fruit or something like that, by the time we get to this point, your body's going to want something more processed. It's going to want something salty, crunchy, sugary, like something like a baked good, some cookies, a soda. It's going to want something that's really less nutrients dense. Okay. And so these foods are loaded with excess refined carbs, and then we overload our body with it because we've allowed ourselves to get too hungry. And then that's when this roller coaster ride begins of our blood sugar levels going high and low. And then the cravings just continue. And it's just an endless cycle where you're going a long period without eating. And then you eat something and you're on this high, and then you crash, and it just repeats and repeats and repeats. And so I would love to hear what your favorite crave food is. So if you can post that in the chat right now, what is your crave food of choice? And mind you, we're talking about sugar cravings, but everybody doesn't have sugar cravings per se. So their cravings may come in the form of something different. Okay. I know at one point for me, it was mixed nuts. But for some people, it's something salty, it's something sweet. So put your sweet craving definitely, and then, but if it's not anything that's sweet that you're craving, what is your crave food? Because it's still the same effect. Okay. No judgment zone. So it's good to hear. I think it's a good exercise for everybody to hear what other people are battling. We're not alone. And so next, another common mistake that we make is skipping meals. Okay, skipping meals, a common trigger that will and heighten our cravings. And so when we skip meals, our bodies want this fast fuel, we call it. And so we're more likely to grab the first sugary thing that we can find, that we can get our hands on. And then when we allow ourselves to get too hungry, over hungry, I call it hangry. Some people have heard that term. Sugary snacks become a quick fix in many cases because our sugar levels have plummeted to low levels, okay, levels that are just too low. And that's when we feel jittery. We may feel tired, sluggish, we can't concentrate, brain fog. I hear that a lot. And so this challenge in itself is addressing what to do. You're eating regularly. Okay. I'm saying eat your breakfast within 2 hours of rising. Don't have your first meal at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's not going to help you with your energy levels or your metabolism, or just keeping your body in a healthy state of equilibrium. So the body has to do a lot of things to sustain the fact that it's not being fed for long periods of time. So you are enjoying three well-balanced meals. You're having snacks in between those meals that are fiber-rich, protein-rich, heart-healthy fats throughout the day. And that's exactly what you did on day one. Okay. And so for many people, I'm already hearing compliments and testimonies about their energy levels and how they're even feeling different and they're feeling better and they're not as hungry and they're not craving. It doesn't take long when the body is being fed what it needs. And so a common mistake that people make is not eating between lunch and dinner. Okay. And this leads to snacking, grazing, and more snacking and grazing. And so another common mistake that people make is skipping breakfast. Okay. Or again, like I had stated, they're not eating till 1 o'clock or something like that. And that is, it's not what the body desires. Will it adapt and will it try to compensate? It will, but it's still not humming at its optimal levels. And so these two mistakes leave you feeling vulnerable to cravings for anything sweet, crunchy, salty, sweetened drinks. And then generally you're just vulnerable. Okay. You're vulnerable to overeat. You want to go to a restaurant. You don't want anything. You don't want to cook anything. You don't want to prepare anything. So we're just really setting ourselves up unknowingly. We're setting ourselves up for a disaster later. And so post either exhausted, sluggish, sleepy, or you can name something else. How do you feel when you come home from work on most days? Are you exhausted? Are you sluggish? Are you sleepy? Or is it something else? Okay. I hear people many times they're just so exhausted that they don't want to do anything. And if you don't want to do anything, guess what? You're not going to cook. You're not going to have the motivation to do that. And so you're going to eat out because you know you have to eat something. So please post how you're feeling. I think that's another good eye opener because we all feel that we're the only ones, but there's things we can do to change that. Okay. And so the next step that you can do to avoid or curtail sugar cravings is snacks, incorporating snacks. Okay. Think of snacks in a different mindset. We tend to have snacks as they tend to get a negative connotation because snacks are generally associated with junk food. Okay. And so snacks are bridges between meals. So think of this, snacks are bridges between meals. And because it allows you to shorten that gap from your last meal until your next meal. Okay. So when you're around that 4 hour mark, I say you need to start thinking about what is your next meal looking like? What is your next snack looking like? And if it's not a meal that you can have because maybe something is a little too hectic or you're not in a position where you can have a meal, this is when you need to have a snack. And this plan at least gives you a few examples of some healthy snacks. Okay. Of course, there's many ways to package snacks, but the key that I want you to zone in on with these snacks is it's just not one food. It's not just a handful of nuts or a piece of fruit or a string cheese or something, you notice that they're a combination of foods, okay? Because you want your snacks to last you 1 to 2 hours. So you want it to last you more than 15 minutes, okay? And so, so an important crush your sugar cravings tip is to have you definitely want to have your snack between lunch and dinner, okay? That is like mandatory. The morning snack, I say, is optional. It depends on how early your breakfast is and how late your breakfast is. But if you're eating breakfast at 6 o'clock in the morning and lunch is not till noon, you need to have a morning snack somewhere in there around 10-ish, something like that. And so, I say usually between 3 and 4 for that afternoon snack, because that's usually that time frame where people tend to kind of crash and burn, or that's when the temptation seems to increase as far as wanting to go to a vending machine or snack on something that's less healthy on a regular basis. It's okay to do it every now and then, but on most days you wanna have yourself armed and prepared. Okay. And so for today on the plan, we have the crackers and the avocado. Okay. So again, a combination of foods. It's not just the crackers, it's not just the avocado. You eat them together. Okay. And based on depending on when your lunch is, I would say, at least 3 hours, between that 3 to 4 hour mark, but make sure you have it before you have dinner. Okay. And if you don't feel hungry, the thing is this is where you have to learn your body. Being stuffed is one thing. So none of these meals are large enough to where you should feel stuffed. Feeling satisfied is something different, but your most of the people that are participating, your metabolism is still asleep. We're waking it up, so your body's not able to tell you, hey, I'm ready to eat or I'm munchy. So it's really about just trusting the process and saying, hey, I need to eat something because it's been about close to 4 hours since I had lunch, and I need to eat something because this is what's going to prepare you to go into dinner stronger and not as hungry and to where things backfire later. So it's very important. So even though you may not feel hungry, trust that your body needs it. And this is part of the process to where your metabolism and your body can start to signal you again that, hey, it's time to eat. And so if you had lunch like around 12 or 1, then you're gonna want to eat something around, like I say, 4-ish, 3:30, 4-ish, like right before you get off of work time frame, to where that from the time you do leave work and the time you get home, hopefully it's not a large gap there, and you're able to go into dinner ready, not starving. Okay. So this is something to work on because a lot of times people are not used to doing this on a regular basis, but it is definitely a game changer. Okay. And during Body Reboot Blueprint, I take a deeper dive with guided exercises on and some several snack ideals and some tricks in order to help you to curtail those cravings and to help you to rev up your metabolism. Because it's very important to have that snack in and have it to where you look forward to it. And you can swap these snacks in the challenge. So if you want to swap your morning snack and your evening snack, definitely do that. Okay. And so this is a good place to pause. And before we get into the meals for the remaining of from today until tomorrow morning. And many people have asked, well, what happens after the challenge ends? And so this is good news. This tells me that you're ready to step it up. Okay, you want to continue to see improvements, and you want to continue to personalize things a bit more, which is great. And so if you are struggling with your weight, have been struggling with your weight, know that you're not alone and you're in the right place. That's what this is all about. And I want to ask you a few questions. Do you find the number on the scale? Have you reached a plateau with your weight, basically? Are you tired of trying different approaches and diets and investing money, and you're not really seeing real success? Okay. Unfortunately, if you lost the weight and then you gained it back, that's not really success, in my opinion. You want to be able to sustain it. That's when it's successful. Okay. So you want to make sure you're able to sustain it to where you're not starting over all the time. Okay. From square one. And did you find yourself unsure of, what to eat, when to eat, that will work for you? Okay, those are probably some of the biggest questions that people have out there. So I got your back. That's what we're here for. And there's no time like now to reset your weight loss into high gear. We want to recalibrate your energy levels. Many are tired of dieting and they're looking for new ways. Okay, they're looking for new ways to start a new lifestyle that drastically increases the quality of sleep and energy levels throughout the day. You're looking for ways to end the confusion about what to eat for your body and your body type. And so you'll have access to meals and recipes that will help you to do that. And you're looking for ways to add more accountability and have that community support to ensure that 2023 is your year to have success and to feel great and to look your best. Okay. So we just want things, this is the year about building life, a lifestyle of self-care that will last you in the long haul, no matter what is going on. Okay, so I invite you to check out Body Reboot Blueprint. This is newly updated for 2023. It's a 30-day nutrition, weight loss, and total body wellness group program, and it's going to start on January 26th. So I'm excited about that. And just a quick overview of how the program is designed. You'll get 4 weekly sessions of live training, interactive exercises to implement each week to keep you on track and motivated when you are, and while providing you the accountability that you crave, okay? And it's also, you'll have access to a fun and safe environment where you are able to motivate others as well as receive encouragement from your fellow weight loss warriors that are with you. And you will also have the ability to create a lifestyle of self-care, okay? That will empower you to maintain your lost weight and to step into your highest level of health, because we want to make sure we're talking about all aspects of your life, not just the food part. We have exercise, we have hydration, we have sleep, we have stress management, all that stuff all plays a role. And so we are in a forum where we can address that, okay? So get all the details, grab your virtual seat, check it out, actionchoices.com/body reboot blueprint. Check that out, and we'll also post that information in the chat. I advise you not to wait until the 13th. This is when we open this up to the public. You all are having first dibs and hearing about this challenge. And the bonus for you all is the first 7 people that register gets an hour private coaching session with me to redeem anytime during the 30-day journey that we are on together. And this will further maximize your results, okay? So it's valued at $125. It's completely complimentary, but this will give us an opportunity to talk one-on-one, okay? So in addition to the group environment, you will also have some one-on-one help too, which can, again, like I said, personalize things even more. So we'll get more of a crystal clear vision of what your nutrition and our weight loss path will look like for you. And we'll uncover any hidden obstacles or any unconscious patterns that may have been sabotaging your success in the past. And we're going to help you to build some healthier eating habits so you can lose weight and keep it off, and some strategies to keep it off. You will leave that session inspired and motivated, and you also have the group to come back to, because you are about to also have personalized, tangible next steps, okay, that will help catapult your results. And so that is what it's all about. So I'm really, really excited. So take advantage of that, because you all have first dibs at that. So I can only open up so many slots. So take advantage of those before it opens up to the public. All right. So let's shift back to today's challenge, and let's talk about what we need to do between now and tomorrow. And so upcoming meals and snacks. Okay. So the meals for today, you can't get any easier than leftovers, right? This is what planning and prepping does for you. Okay. When you are able to experience the fact that, oh, at least a few days out of the week, all I got to do is warm stuff up, that takes so much off of you, okay? And you have that peace of mind knowing that, okay, at least with all the chaos going on, I ate well, I did my body good. And that's what it's all about. And so this is when we really reap the benefits. Sometimes we got to make a little sacrifice to make it happen, but it's worth it. It's worth it at the end of the day. And so remember, don't skip your afternoon snack. Okay, so that's the crackers and the avocado. Or if you want to flip the snacks, feel free to do that. Okay, and so a recap on snacks. Remember, the AM snack, depending on your breakfast schedule, you may not need it. You may need to push it back to either maybe have your snacks between lunch and dinner, and then a snack after dinner. Okay, so you are allowed to eat after dinner. So I know that's another dieting philosophy that people tend to have, but yes, you can eat after dinner. And then the PM snack, I recommend not skipping. Okay, so sometime between lunch and I would say around 4ish, have that snack. Okay, and then tonight, your dinner is your salmon. You take that out and take that out of the freezer to thaw out. Well, tonight you're going to take your salmon out and because you're going to thaw that out and prepare for tomorrow. But today is leftovers, so enjoy your leftovers. All right. Then tomorrow's breakfast, we have our avocado toast with egg. Okay, so day 3 of our egg extravaganza. So different ways, different flavors of having eggs. The one of the perfect protein, the protein standard here, and it's an easy breakfast packed with nutrients. Okay, packed with nutrients. So take advantage of that within 2 hours of waking up, whatever time that is for you. Okay, so remember to get all the details and to grab your virtual seat at actionchoices.com/body reboot blueprint to get all the details on the next steps from here so that we can continue the successes and to continue things going in the way that that's motivating for you. And so I appreciate all the engagements, the comments, feedback, photos, even a video. Feel free to post videos, okay? So don't feel any fear with posting videos of you preparing stuff or taking pictures of your food itself, okay? So we want to keep it fun, keep the energy going because iron sharpens iron. So once we're all in this together, it just motivates each other. And so tomorrow's topic, we're going to talk about discover the keys of effective food combining, okay? And that's designed to keep your sugar cravings at bay, okay? And with the added benefit of leveling out your mood. So we're gonna talk about foods and food combining, all right? So thank you so much for tuning in. Do not hesitate to post any comments, questions, photos, anything, okay? This is our platform. Take advantage of it. Let's use it and get your questions answered, your comments addressed, etc. All right. So I will see you tomorrow, face to face, for day 3. All right. And I look forward to hearing about your comments about how you're feeling, how you're doing, if you've noticing anything different in your body in these couple of days that we've already been working together. So have a great rest of your day and be blessed.